Hinchey, and I'm the speech pathologist at Oklahoma Able Tech. This video is going to cover the basics of adaptive switches. So what are adaptive switches? Switches are access devices that enable a person with motor limitations to use technology or operate electronic devices. The simple movements used to operate a switch replace complex actions that limit independent access. When we break it down, switches allow individuals who might not otherwise be able to control their environment or parts of their environment the power to do so with almost any kind of movement. There are lots of options in terms of switch access. If you can think of a movement or action that individual can do, I bet there's a switch he or she can use. Can they simply lay their hand on a PAL pad? Can they vocalize a sound? Can they move a body part in front of a sensor? What about moving their eyebrows? There is even a switch that allows an individual to sip and puff air to select or activate items. So what might individuals need or want to activate? Switches can connect to many types of devices, such as computers, speech-generating devices, home appliances, and toys. Switch adaptive items can help individuals become more engaged and independent in all environments. In the classroom, the switch adapted scissors and switch adaptive doodling robot can be used during arts and crafts. At home, the switch adaptive dice roller and Uno can be used during game night. There are even switches adapted for the kitchen. An individual can use a switch adaptive blender to make his or her favorite shake. Even the youngest individuals can use adaptive switches. We recently saw a young girl participate in a play routine with her mom and grandmother using this adaptive ball popper and switch. Everyone was laughing and had the biggest smiles because this young girl was able to control a toy that she previously could not. One of my favorite stories is about a young boy using the switch adaptive cup turner in the community to pour lemonade into cups at the lemonade stand. The same switches the individuals use to activate the fan, toy, can be used to scan and select choices to communicate on a variety of devices. Switch access changes lives. The goal of this video is to increase your knowledge of adaptive switches so you can help individuals with motor limitations become more engaged and independent in any environment. You'll also learn where to go for help to find switch adaptive solutions. Let's first talk about how switches are classified. There are two main switch categories, mechanical and electrical switches. Mechanical switches are activated by physical touch or tap. They require a part of one's body to travel to the switch to activate a device. Travel is the distance a person must press on a switch before starting a device. Types of mechanical switches include push-touch switches, lever switches, and joysticks. Push-touch switches require pushing against the surface of the switch. This is the most common type of switch. Examples include a jelly bean switch or a pillow switch, which is as soft as it sounds, and a great solution if an individual needs an access method by the head. Lever switches require pressure on the end of an activation arm and can be activated by pushing in more than one direction. The wobble switch is a good example of a lever switch. It requires the slightest pressure to be activated. One young lady used the wobble switch to access and use a puzzle app. She would activate the wobble switch and it would move a piece of the puzzle onto the screen. The young lady loved animals, so her team found animal puzzles for her to put together. She loved it. Her teacher shared it was wonderful watching her truly engage with the app and move beyond assumptions that she was not able to participate in such activities. Joysticks can be moved in 4 different directions to provide control of wheelchairs, computers, or 4 different devices. Mechanical switches vary by size, shape, color, texture, and feedback. Many switches come with feedback effects, such as lights, music, and vibration. These effects can usually be turned on or off individually to customize for an individual. Let's check out a few that can be great for our beginning switch users and those who could benefit from the sensory input. This is the texture roller switch. Spin the roller switch's drum to activate lights and music, and vibration to enjoy a somatosensory experience. The somatic system involves bodily sensations of touch, pain, temperature, vibration, and proprioception. This system helps people recognize objects, discriminate textures, generate sensory motor feedback, and exchange social cues. With a vibrating light with music switch, the individual can enjoy visual, auditory, and tactile sensations. See the bright orange light and hear the fun music as a large textured surface is activated. The Gushy switch is a soft, squishy, sparkly pillow that enables individuals to use this as a cause and effect toy or a switch. Now let's talk about electrical switches. Electrical switches do not require physical touch or pressure. This type of switch requires a break in the electromagnetic force to activate. These switches are most often used by someone unable to activate a switch through pressure. These switches can be accessed in multiple ways. Types of electrical switches include proximity switches, infrared and fiber optic switches, sound switches, sensor switches, and pneumatic switches. Proximity switches react to body movement. The big candy corn switch is activated by simply waving a hand or moving your body within 1 inch of the switch. This switch features an auditory beep and visual feedback that can be turned on and off. Infrared and fiber optic switches use light rays to activate a device. Sound switches respond to sounds from a whisper to a loud clap. This is a great option for individuals who do have vocalizations and/or verbalizations. Let's try it out on an iPad using the switch control feature that is built in. I'm going to select shh as my sound. Whenever I say shh, it will make a selection. I'm going to use it to open up the camera app on the iPad and take a picture. Shh. 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 Sensor switches detect muscle activity. Control Bionics makes a neuronode sensor that uses electromyography, EMG technology, that can recognize even the slightest electrical impulse to activate a button on a communication device. Another example is the MyMove. The MyMove is worn and converts motion, such as a slight wrist movement, to control smart devices for individuals with limited range of motion. This can be used in place of a finger on a touchscreen to select or swipe. It can also be used to move a computer mouse and make a right or left click to select. Pneumatic switches are activated through breath control. Examples are a puff switch or a sip and puff switch. Electrical switches are more costly than mechanical switches. These switches have fewer somatosensory feedback effects than mechanical switches and require a power source such as a battery or electrical outlet. Let's check out a few more electrical switch options available in AbleTech's short-term loan program. The movement sensor switch features an adjustable sensor controlled by sensitivity adjustment knob. The sensitivity knob allows customization of the individual's movement, whether minimal or exaggerated. The twitch switch allows access by slight muscle movement. This switch can be easily adjusted to increase or decrease the amount of muscle movement needed for activation. The twitch switch provides multiple modes of control. Lastly, let's discuss switch interfaces. A switch interface is a device attached between the switch and the toy or device you want to control. There are several switch interfaces available to enhance and extend switch use. The battery adapter or battery interrupter converts any one-function toy or appliance into a switch-activated device for functional activities at home or in the classroom. The battery interrupter is easy to install and can be easily removed. It is small with a female jack cord and a small copper disc. The size of the battery interrupter will vary based on the battery size used in the adapted device. The PowerLink 4 is intended to provide switch access to and control of electrical appliances with basic on-off functionality. This product allows one or two switches to turn an electrical machine on or off for various durations. The PowerLink 4 plugs into any AC wall outlet with a provided cord. Turn on the device. Next, plug in an appliance in the side of the PowerLink 4 and turn the appliance on. Attach a single corded switch to the corresponding switch jack. Then select a mode of operation. The PowerLink 4 quickly became one of my favorite tools after I attended a webinar by Heidi Garrett Brislin. A few ideas from her are to plug a blow dryer or a leaf blower and a switch into the PowerLink 4, so an individual can participate in a range of activities, such as bowling. Let's try it out. Use a PowerLink 4 for cooking fun. Individuals can participate in making their favorite meals, drinks, or snack. Plug in a switch and a mixer, food processor, blender, ice cream maker, cotton candy machine, popcorn machine. There are so many opportunities. You can find so many more resources and ideas for switch activities at her YouTube account, Heidi Brislin. Using this fan and a switch, let's look at the modes of operation available on the PowerLink 4. Direct. Behaves like a traditional switch device. Turns on as the switch is activated and turns off as soon as the switch is released. Count. Behaves like direct and shows the number of activations. Two switches behaves like direct. Both switches must be activated. Time in seconds. Runs appliances from 1 to 99 seconds. Great when beginning users are learning cause and effect. Timed minutes runs appliances from 1 to 99 minutes, about 1.5 hours. Latch. First, activation turns appliance on. Second activation turns it off. The switch modifier is an interface that can be used with any pre-adapted device or used with a battery adapter to create an adaptive toy or appliance. The switch modifier can connect to one switch and one toy or appliance. The switch modifier will operate the corresponding toy or appliance in the chosen control mode. The dual switch, latch, and timer is an interface that can be used with any pre-adapted device or used with a battery adapter to create an adaptive toy or appliance. The dual switch, latch, and timer connect to two switches and two toys or appliances. The dual switches will operate the corresponding toy or appliance independently of each other in the same control mode. The switch modifier and the dual switch latch and timer give users more control of devices by providing 3 different operational modes of control. Those 3 modes are called momentary, timed, and latch mode. The momentary mode allows a toy or appliance to activate if pressure is maintained on the switch. The time seconds mode allows a toy or appliance to run for a present time with a single activation. Timed minutes behaves exactly like time seconds mode, but use minutes rather than seconds. The latch mode is one activation of a switch turning the toy or device on. The second activation turns it off. With so many different features of switches and interfaces, it is truly a challenge sometimes to match what a person needs with what is available. When an individual with a motor limitations needs our help to activate an item in their environment, it is up to us to help them, as a team, determine what switch or switches and switch adaptive items are needed. Switches can truly change lives. If you have any questions about the specific devices you have seen today or their functions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Oklahoma Able Tech. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you.